Hello friends and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Joycey Joy and today in this lecture we will discuss about India-US trade deal. Let us first talk about the current affair. In the current affair we will see that India and US has failed to arrive at a limited trade deal during the Indian Prime Minister's visit to the United States. So Indian Prime Minister has recently visited to the United States and they failed, or the India and US, both the government heads failed to arrive at a limited trade deal. So in this lecture we will be talking about what is meant by limited trade deal and what are the reasons why a trade deal was not finalized between India and US. What are the reasons from both the sides we will discuss in depth, and also we will see what is the way ahead for both of the countries. So let us start. Let us first understand what is meant by limited trade deal. The trade deal did not happen because of the duties that were imposed by India, especially on ICT products, information and communication technology products. See, the US here wanted 20% of the duty on mobile phones and other ICT products to be reduced or to be eliminated. So this was the demand of the United States. Now, second demand of United States was that they needed greater access to Indian market. We know that India serves as a greater or a very huge market for the world economy. This is because of many factors. First one is due to the consumption demand in the economy. Second one is due to the huge population in the economy. Third one is due to the demand generated in the economy. So for various factors, for various reasons, India is a great market for the world economy. So secondly, US wanted greater access to Indian market. And now how is this access ensured? So access to Indian market basically means that the US wants to export more commodities into the Indian market. Now, to improve the exports from US to Indian market, India has to undertake certain steps. For example, reducing the tariffs, reducing the duties on imports. So these are necessary steps that India should take if India wants to give greater access to US products in Indian market. So this was the second demand of the United States. Now, thirdly, the US wanted access for certain particular commodities. For example, medical devices like the stents, knee implants, etc. So medical devices is first commodity for which US wanted greater access to Indian market. Second one is dairy products. Third one is agricultural products. So these are the specific commodities for which US was asking more or better market access to India. Now, for India, the greater demand was that India wanted the GSP or generalized system of preferences to be restored. Now, when we talk about GSP gives preferential market access for its products in US. US has recently withdrawn the GSP or the generalized system of preferences given to India. So India wanted to restore the GSP. We will discuss about GSP in brief later towards the end of this lecture. So this is called limited trade deal. This means that certain specific conditions or certain demands from both the sides. We have seen what were the demands of US, what were the demands of India. So these specific demands were not fulfilled or accepted by both the sides. So that is why we say the limited trade deal was a failure. It was not a general trade deal where the US and India wanted better market access or any free trade agreements, but rather this was specific. Certain specific demands were brought up from both the sides. So this is why it is called a limited trade deal, and the demands were not accepted from both the sides. Now let us see why the deal was not finalized. What are the reasons the deal was not finalized? First thing, we will talk about India's part, why India did not accept the trade deal. So let us talk from India's part. So firstly, the US demands. We have seen what were the demands of the United States. They wanted better market access, especially for certain particular commodities. For example, medical devices, dairy products, for agricultural commodities, etc. So India said that the demand of the US for better market access were on sensitive products. So these products like medical devices, dairy products, agricultural products, etc., they are highly sensitive products. Now, why is this sensitivity? This is sensitive from the political angle in India. We will see why this is sensitive products. Now, when we talk about medical devices, this is a necessity. Now, dairy products, agricultural commodities, these are all food requirements. Now, the government wants to increase the accessibility to these sensitive products like medical devices, dairy products, agricultural commodities, etc. So, accessibility to these products are a target of the government both for social reasons and also for political reasons. So, in order to make or give more access to these products, the government wants to make this affordable in terms of price. So, government has often taken credit for making these products affordable. And now loosening the price controls for these products is not an option for the government, because this will push up the prices of these products in the country. So there will be inflation or increase in the prices of these products. So that was the first reason India was reluctant to agree to the demands of the United States. Second reason was regarding challenges with regard to intellectual property, e-commerce, H-1B visas, etc. So, a full-scale trade agreement will pose bigger challenges on issues like intellectual property, e-commerce, H-1B visas, etc. This is the second reason. Now, the third reason for India was the present economic slowdown in the economy. Now, the Indian economy is going through a phase of economic slowdown. So, if India is giving any concessions to US in this phase of economic slowdown, this will have political implications as well as economical implications. This is because the present economic slowdown has brought down the demand in Indian economy. So the demand is very less and the supply is high. Now, according to the law of demand, when the aggregate demand is lesser than the aggregate supply, the prices will fall. So many of the major industries in India is undergoing a loss because of the reduction in prices because of lack of demand created in the economy. Now, if India loosens its stance on imports from USA, this will again increase the aggregate supply, the prices will further fall, and the domestic industries will further have to face an economic loss. So, that is the reason. So, the present slowdown, economic slowdown in India is also not a favorable or a right time for India to implement any kind of favor for USA in terms of trade. So, these are the reasons from India's perspective. Now we will talk from US perspective. What are the reasons why US were not willing to accept the demands of India? The first reason is the upcoming election. This is a political reason. So the election, US presidential elections are coming up in the next year. So US President Donald Trump did not want to sign a limited trade agreement with India because this will have implications on the upcoming elections. So this is the first reason. Now, secondly, the major reason is the ongoing US-China trade war. And we have seen that the US and China is under a trade war for several months now, and negotiations are taking place from both the sides, but the negotiations are not showing fruitful results. So the US-China trade war is reaching nowhere. And when we talk from China's perspective, China has not only taken punitive tariffs by the US, but it has also retaliated. So China retaliated towards increasing tariffs by the US. So China has picked up products that could really hurt the US economy. So China has retaliated very badly. So the ongoing trade war is a big headache for US, and US did not want to take up another trade negotiation with India. Now, what is the way ahead for India and US in this regard? So when we talk about trade negotiations, it is not an easy task. And if a trade negotiation has to succeed, then it should be a give and take policy. That means both the sides will have to make adjustments. So negotiations from both the sides has to happen. Now let us discuss certain terms which are important from US-India trade relations. So first term is GSP, or the Generalized System of Preferences. So let us see what is Generalized System of Preferences. So generalized system of preferences is a US trade program. This is a program implemented by United States. And what is the purpose or aim of this trade program? The GSP is designed to promote economic growth in developing countries. Now that is the relevance for India. So economic growth in developing countries. India is also a developing country. So how US will help in economic growth in developing countries through GSP? This is because the US will provide preferential duty-free entry for up to 4,800 products from 129 designated beneficiary countries and territories. So, what is meant by preferential duty-free entry? So, preferential duty-free entry means that the countries, these 129 countries, for these 4,800 products, they can export these products to US without any tariff or with minimum tariff. So exports from the developing countries to US will increase for this 4,800 products. Now talking about the objectives of GSP. First one is to give a developmental support to the poorer countries to the developing countries. Now, secondly, GSP will help sustainable development of the developing countries by the way of expanding and diversifying the trade. Now, thirdly, this will give an opportunity to the developing countries and poorer countries especially to trade with US. So, better trading, especially with a developed country like US, will help these countries climb out of poverty in order to improve on their social indicators and also improve their economic development. So these are the objectives of GSP. Now, let us talk about the benefits of GSP. The first one is that the exporters will benefit immensely. This is because the exporters need not pay any tariff. They are provided preferential duty-free entry to US over certain selected products. So exporters will find cheaper way to export to US. So this is highly beneficial for exporters. Secondly, removal or reduction of import duty on Indian product makes it more competitive for the importer. Now, thirdly, the tariff preference, that is the GSP, will help the exporters to penetrate into a new market, establish exports, and to increase the market share in a particular product. So these are the benefits of GSP. Now next, another important term, that is H1B visa issue. This is also very important regarding India-US bilateral relationship. So now let us see what is H1B visa issue. Now let us see what is H1B visa. H1B visa is basically a non-immigrant visa. So the H1B visa will allow the US companies to employ foreign workers in specialty occupations. That means those occupations that require technical expertise or specialization. So technology companies depend on it to hire many thousands of employees each year from countries like India and China. So these companies will hire employees from countries like India and China who has got a technical expertise or specialization. Now, the H1B visa has an annual numerical limit cap of 65,000 each fiscal year, and this is mandated by the Congress in United States. And the first 20,000 petitions that are filed on behalf of the beneficiaries, those who have a US master's degree or higher degree, these people are exempted from the cap. Now, according to the US Citizenship and Immigration Services, between 2007 and 2017, that is over a period of 10 years, it has received the maximum number of 2.2 million H1B petitions from India. So highest number was received from India and it was followed by China. Now, when we talk about H1B visa, we also need to understand H4 visa. What is meant by H4 visa? So H4 visa are the visa that is given to the dependents of H1B visa. And in the year 2015, the US Citizenship and Immigration Services passed the Employment Authorization for Certain H4 Dependent Spouses rule. So this is regarding H1B visa and H4 visa. So these two terms, GSP, Generalized System of Preferences, and H1B visa, these are very important from your UPSC perspective, when we talk about the India-US relationship, so these terms were also in the news very frequently recently. So from the examination perspective, this is very important topic. You can find the PDF of this lecture on our website www.studyiq.com. You can also follow my Facebook page for more video updates. You can write to me at joycey.studyiq@gmail.com for any of your queries and clarification. Thank you.